How do Americans access specialized services in Asia with language barriers? Imagine trying to explain your medical symptoms in a language you barely speak. That's the reality many Americans face when living abroad in Asia. But don't worry, there are practical ways to get around these language hurdles. When it comes to healthcare, most Asian countries operate mainly in their local languages, which can make it tough to communicate with doctors or understand medical instructions. In big cities like Bangkok, Singapore, or Hong Kong, international hospitals often have English-speaking staff and interpretation services. These hospitals are equipped to handle complex medical terminology and provide translation at the point of care. However, these services usually come with higher costs, sometimes 2 to 3 times more than local clinics. For those on a budget, many Americans turn to translation apps on their smartphones. Apps like Google Translate can help describe symptoms or understand basic instructions, but they're not perfect for detailed medical conversations. Some also hire personal translators or ask trusted local friends to accompany them to appointments. This can be helpful but raises privacy concerns and may not always be accurate with technical language. Telemedicine is another option gaining popularity. Americans can schedule video calls with doctors back in the United States, speaking in English and getting advice without leaving their home or hotel. This works well for non-emergency issues, but isn't suitable for urgent medical needs. Learning some basic local language phrases can make a big difference. Even simple words for symptoms or directions can help in emergencies and routine visits. Many expats invest time in language classes or use language learning apps to build confidence. Beyond healthcare, Americans also face language barriers in legal, financial, and real estate services. For legal matters, working with law firms that have English-speaking lawyers or using professional translation services is common. When dealing with banks or investment firms, many international companies offer services in English, but smaller local banks might not. For real estate, bilingual agents or companies that specialize in expatriate housing are often the best bet. Building a network of other expatriates, bilingual professionals, and trusted locals is key. Online forums and social media groups are full of recommendations for reliable service providers who speak English. Over time, many Americans find that learning the local language helps them become more independent and reduces costs. It also allows them to negotiate better prices and understand local customs, which can be very different from the United States. The reality is that overcoming language barriers is an ongoing process. Successful expats often combine using international clinics, translation apps, and basic language skills. They also relying heavily on their networks for advice and support. Planning ahead by budgeting for higher costs of English-speaking services and investing in language learning can make a big difference. Remember, facing these challenges is part of the experience of living abroad. With patience and resourcefulness, Americans can access the specialized services they need and enjoy their time in Asia.